Okay, good morning, everyone. In this meeting, we will have English sentence structure. This is the RPS ya hari ini. I will share about the module course. So the first is the learning outcomes. So course description. In this course, student will be equipped by various sentence pattern by analyzing the relationship of ideas in one sentence. So the students are also asked to analyze the error in short text. So we have done it in pre-test kemarin ya. So this course emphasizes students' ability to apply more complex sentence pattern in context. And the tasks carried out are related to the identification and analysis of sentences in English text with various themes and writing various meaningful sentence with correct language rule. Okay, and then next we have course learning outcomes. So after completing this course, students will be able to determine the constituent parts of English grammar used in context and evaluate English text by using correct grammar to describe sentence meaning. And the first meeting we have pretest and everyone identify the use of English grammar in spoken and written text for daily communication by taking pretest kemarin ya. And then meeting kedua and today ya we have question and noun clauses related to negative question and tag questions. So in this meeting, students are able. So the objective of the study tujuannya students are able to determine grammatical unit about negative and tag questions, and students are able to criticize and revise the mistakes found in an English text about geographic mobility. Okay, next I will share about the unit 14 yeah. So this is the unit. So in this chapter, we will have geographic mobility, grammar in the real world, and then some negative question, grammar application, tag question, grammar presentation, grammar application, and how to avoid common mistakes. Okay, now let's get started with the interviewer, Lauren, and Rizal Wahyu, and also Arin, silakan.
Okay, ma'am, thank you so much for the chance, and I will begin it now. Today, we are speaking with two specialists in geographic mobility. They will discuss some reasons why people move from one place to another. Professor O'Neill is from Carlow University in the United States, and Professor Tabenkin is from Zala University in Russia. Let's start with Professor O'Neill. Professor, you have been interested in geographic mobility for a long time, haven't you?
Well, yes. When I was a boy, my best friend moved away, and that affected me deeply. As I grew older, I saw more people move away. I noticed that the population decrease affected local business. As a result, I got interested in the choices people make about moving.
People are very mobile and are moving a lot, but most people aren't moving long distances, are they? Isn't that curious?
Yes, that's interesting. In fact, I've been studying the connection between moving and distance recently. Every year, about 11.6% of people in the United States move, and of those, about 14.8% moving to a different state.
Doesn't that surprise you?
No, not really. Often people who change jobs move long distance. On the other hand, People looking for better housing usually stay near their original home, and people who relocate for family reasons may move far away or stay nearby.
So I guess it depends on the situation, doesn't it?
That's right. It's more complicated than you may think. For example, my wife was living in California when we met. When we got married, she moved a long distance to live with me in Chicago. Now, her sister, who lives near Chicago, is expecting a baby. She and her husband plan to move a short distance to be closer to us.
Professor Tabenkin, people in Russia have the same issues, don't they?
To a certain extent, yes, it's harder to find housing in Russia, so people tend to move less frequently. In fact, the mobility rate in Russia is less than 2%. In my research, I found that young people often decide not to move because available, affordable housing would take them further from family.
Okay, but don't people sometimes have to move long distances for economic reasons?
Yes, that's true. Personally, I had to move a very long distance 10 years ago because there were no jobs nearby. However, my experience doesn't seem to be the norm.
Mobility isn't easy to explain, is it? Thank you both for your thoughts on this issue.
Yeah,
Thank you,
okay,
ma'am.
thank you for the presentation. For the comprehension check, number one, what are some reasons why people move long distances? Kira-kira, what is the answer? Raffi, can you answer number 1 and 2?
What are some reasons why people move long distance? The answer is because they have to find a job and find the long living.
Okay, so why people also stay nearby when they move?
What are some reasons why people stay nearby when they move? Because it's comfortable, affordable, and it's because affordable and comfortable.
Yeah, so they still wants to get close, yeah, with the family. Okay, for number 3, why is the mobility rate in Russia lower than in the United States? Maybe Angelica, can you answer number 3? Yes?
Can you hear my voice, ma'am?
Yes, we can listen to your voice, but you have to speak up ya, agak keras dikit.
Oh, okay. How about now?
Yes, you can
Okay.
try to answer.
Why is the mobility rate in Russia lower than in the United States? I think because some people is, oh my God. Ma'am, can you back to the previous slide?
Yes,
Because I
yes.
little forgot. Thank you.
Based on the dialogue,
Yeah,
why?
because Baben can say it's harder to find housing in Russia, so the mobility in Russia is lower than United States.
Yeah, okay, good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, now part C. Try to find sentences ya in the article. Number 1 and number 2. Who wants to try? Sydney, maybe? Ada Sydney? Sydney Tanida? Is there anyone can help me to answer part C?
Can I, ma'am?
Yes, Narima.
Okay, number 1, Professor, you have been interested in geographic mobility for a long time, haven't you? Mobility isn't easy to explain, is it?
Yeah, that's very good. So, number 1 tadi have been menjadi haven't you? Yeah, so Professor, you have been interested in geographic mobility for a long time, haven't you? And the second one, mobility isn't easy to explain, is it? Yeah, so This is the negative questions. Tolong dibaca lagi. Ray Sanjaya ada?
Yes, ma'am.
Ya, silakan.
Okay. 2.1. Negative questions. 2.1. Forming negative questions. A. Negative questions usually begin with a contraction. B.
The example.
Examples. I'm sorry. Examples. A. Don't you live around here? Can't you help me move? Wasn't he living in Chicago? B. The full form of not in negative questions is very formal. The word not comes between the subject and the main verb. Examples. Were they not living in Chicago? Have you not moved recently? C. With the contraction, use are instead of am with I. Use am when you use the full form. Examples. Aren't I correct? Am I not correct?
Yeah, okay, next. Point 2.2. Yeah, 2.2.
2.2. Using negative questions. A. Use negative questions when you think the information is true and you expect people to agree. For examples, don't people often move when they change jobs? My experience tells me people often move when they change jobs. B. Use negative questions to show surprise or disbelief. Examples. Tom has changed his major to English. Really? Isn't he still planning to work at a bank? C. Use negative questions to show annoyance or anger. Examples. Didn't you say you would call me?
Yeah, okay, thank you for your
Thank you for this.
explanation for negative questions. So we have some way ya to use negative question. Yang pertama untuk to give information whether it is we want to expect the people to agree about the information that we have given, and then to give atau to show surprise or disbelief tadi contohnya ya. So you can use negative question. For example, tadi sudah disebutkan, really isn't he still planning to work at the bank? Ya, seperti itu. And then to show annoyance or anger ya. Oke, next 3.1 tolong dibaca Alivio.
Yes, ma'am. Tag questions. 3.1 Forming tag questions. A. The inner tag question is an auxiliary verb, a modal or a form of be. Examples. Your parents have never moved, have they? She got a job, didn't she? You can stay, can you? B. The pronoun in a tag questions agrees with the subject. For example, the students will be on time one day. Your sister lives close by, doesn't she? C. Use an affirmative tag with a negative statement. For example, they don't live in Chicago, do they?
Ya, oke. Now 3.2 silakan dibaca. Siapa? Raffi atau siapa? Muhammad Kakak ada, Muhammad Kakak.
Ada, ma'am.
Ada. Oke, silakan dibaca.
3.2 Answering tag questions. A. In negative text, we expect the listener to answer yes, but it is possible to answer no. For example, they moved from Miami to Chicago, didn't they? Yes, they got jobs in Illinois. That's right.
They moved.
They moved. Actually, no, that's not right. They didn't move. B. In affirmative text, we expect the listener to answer no, but it is possible to answer yes. They didn't move from Miami to Chicago. Did they? No, they decided to stay. You're right. They didn't move. Yes, they had to move for work. Actually, they did move. See, you cannot answer yes blah 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 not. They didn't move from Miami to Chicago. Did they? Yes, they did. Or no, they didn't. Not yes, they didn't.
Yeah, that's good. So this is how to answer tag questions. Yeah, okay. For grammar application, group 1, are you ready? Group 1
Yes, ma'am.
consists of...
We are ready.
Okay, let me share your screen. Yeah, this is from group 1 ya. Oke, silakan get start.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for the chance. Hi, I am Angelica Verlin, and today Lauren, Raffi, Rizal, and me will present negative questions, Unit 14. Exercise 2.1, negative questions. Number 1, the question is blah, blah, blah. I told you to be careful with that lamp. We should change I told into a negative question. So the answer is, didn't I tell you to be careful with that lamp? Number 2, blah, 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 you have been listening to what I've been saying. We should change you have been listening to negative question. So the answer is, haven't you been listening to what I've been saying? Number 3, blah, 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 you can stop texting and help me. We should change you can stop into a negative question. So the answer is, can you stop texting and help me? Number 4, blah, 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 you should have bought bigger boxes. We should change you should have bought into a negative question. So we change into a shouldn't you have bought bigger boxes. Number 5, blah, 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 I am correct that you promised to help. We should change I am into a negative question. So the answer is, aren't I correct that you promised to help? Number 6, blah, 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 you were going to take the baby to the neighbors. We should change you were going to take into a negative question. So the answer is, weren't you going to take the baby to the neighbors? Thank you.
Yeah, this is the answer ya tadi. So the first is didn't I tell? Jawabannya ya. And then number 2, haven't you been? Number 3, can you stop? Number 4, shouldn't you have bought? Number 5, aren't I? And number 6, weren't you going to take? Okay, next, who will be responsible for number exercise 2.2?
Rizal, ma'am.
Yes, Riza.
For the exercise 2.2, question number 1, a lot of people left Ireland in the 80s. And the answer is, didn't a lot of people leave because of famine? And for number 2, hope of employment brings a lot of immigrants to rich countries. For the answer is, don't the good schools make the rich countries attractive too? And for number 3, some people move great distance. And for the answer is, didn't some people move great distance to reunite with family members? And for number 4, some corporations require their employees to move to another country. And the answer is, isn't it happening because of globalization? And for number 5, people are able to move around more freely because of globalization. And the answer is, aren't people moving around freely because of the change of laws? Thank you.
Okay, next. Siapa yang mau melanjutkan?
Okay, so I would like to answer the exercise
Yeah,
3.1. If I'm mistake, please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Number 1, Erica and her family are moving overseas. Aren't they? The answer is D. And number 2, you know about their move. B, didn't you? Number 3, Erica's company is relocating to London, isn't it? Number 4, Erica's husband won't get a new job. Will he? Number 5, they don't have a place to live yet. Do they? Erica will get an international about their move. Won't she? Number 7, I have a lot of their information about their move, don't I? Number 8, You're giving them a going away party, aren't you? Thank you.
Yeah, okay. This is from exercise 3.1 have answered by group 1, and then now exercise 3.2.
Okay, I would like to answer exercise 3.2 again, ma'am. So, number 1, moving can be stressful as well as expensive, can it? Number 2, people can sometimes deduct moving costs from their income taxes, can't they? Number 3, things have sometimes disappeared from a moving truck, haven't it? Number 4, your friends will give you boxes, don't they? Number 5, everyone should read reviews of a moving company before hiring one, shouldn't they? Number 6, Martha has been disorganized since the move, isn't it? Isn't she? I'm sorry. Number 7, Finn and Anne weren't moving today, are they? Number 8, it's been a stressful time for you, isn't it?
Yeah, okay. Next, exercise 3.3, statement in tag question.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, guys, thank you so much. And I'm here going to take over answering the exercise 3.3. Statements in tag questions. So yeah, here I go. Number 1, blah, 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 isn't. The answer is Mary is retiring to Florida. And the second one, with the keyword Raul, relocate London. So the answer is Raul has relocated to London, hasn't. Number 3, with the keywords Annette attends school, France. And the answer is Annette attended school in France, didn't. Number 4, with the keywords Miriam and Amir, turned down the promotion, New York. The answer is Miriam and Amir will turn down the promotion in New York, won't. Number 5, with the keywords you like the air quality Hong Kong. The answer is you didn't like the air quality in Hong Kong, did you? Number 6, with the keywords Bernard take the children with him Texas. The answer is Bernard won't take the children with him to Texas, will he? And that's all for exercise 3.3. We're moving on to exercise 3.4. There are going to be 4 conversations between people. So we're just going to begin with the first conversation between Paulo and Luis. So, Paulo, I'm interviewing for a job in New York. You grew up there, didn't you? The answer is yes, I did. What do you want to know? Well, I'm worried about housing. Apartments aren't cheap. Apartments aren't cheap there, are they? The answer is yes, they are. They are also hard to find. And the second conversation is going to be between Hobi and Alex. Hobi, you've read the article on migration patterns for class today, haven't you? The answer is yes, I have. It was interesting. Oh, good. You don't have time to tell me about it before class, do you? Yes, I don't. But you can borrow my copy of the article.
Yeah, next,
and
conversation 3.
Yes, ma'am. And the third conversation is going to be between Claudia and June. I heard the company in moving to Dallas, Texas. Some of us will have to move, won't we? The answer is yes, we will. I will know exactly who next week. You have family there, so you won't mind moving, will you? No, I won't. My family excited. The answer is no, I won't. And the fourth conversation, this is going to be between Van and Bin. There are a lot of new families moving into neighborhood, aren't there? The answer is yes, there are. I'm glad to see new faces. It's nice to see a lot of young children around again, isn't it? And the answer is yes, it is.
Yeah, okay, thank you for group 1.
Okay,
let me
so
share again the RPS. Yeah, so after we learn about question and noun clauses, negative question and tag question. So we actually we have 16 meeting and the teaching methods, yeah, lecturing, discussing, and group project. So group project will be done in meeting 10, yeah. Okay, next, assessment method. So we have class participation and then exercises, quiz and midterm exam and final exam, and then group project. So the assessmentnya tadi kita sudah we have class participation tadi ya, and then do some exercises for the assignment in a group, and the quiz will be enable student to, so quizzes, I mean the quiz enables student to identify gaps in knowledge, or in other words, to identify how well the student know the grammatical unit. And then this is the summary of the assessment. So class participation is your individual participation through the semester, and the percentage is 5%. And then group work, this is exercises of 8 units that we will learn from starting from meetings 2 up to 6 and 10, I mean 9 up to 12, and the percentage is 10%. And then group work 2, we have group project, start in meeting 10 up to 16, and the percentage of the score is 20%, and then the quiz will be done individually in meeting 5, and the percentage is 10%, and then midterm, it will be done individually also in meeting 8, and the percentage is 25%, and then the last one, final test, it will be done individually also in the last meeting, meeting 16, and the percentage is 30%, so the total is 100%. Okay, and this is the resources that we have. We use Grammar and Beyond Book 3, published by New York Cambridge University Press. Yeah, okay, so this is the assessment that we done, yeah. Okay, I think